News channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
That's me, and I'm not muted. I saw the comments where someone's like, do you think he's going to be muted? I'm not muted. I'm not muted at all. We have some viewers from the UK here watching. Shout out to you guys. How many people are not from the United States? I know we have Canada and I know we have the United States, or the UK. If you're from outside of those two areas, let us know in the chat. That's what I'm very curious about. All right, for anyone who's just tuning in, my name is Steve. The show is called Wake Up America. It's the official home of Fight Back. Okay, you're going to see that's our slogan up there, Fight Back, and that's what we're going to do. The days of us bowing down and cowering to cancel culture is over. The days of frivolous lawsuits like this one, and if any of you guys want to see this complaint, because I know a lot of you have been dying to, by all means, go visit citizenstringer.com/fight, and you can look at this complaint. And then tomorrow morning or tomorrow at some time, you won't see the answer just yet. But like I said, we're firing back. They fucked up. Excuse my language. Man, that was like 30 seconds into the show. It's time to cancel culture, and that's what I'm doing. For anyone that doesn't know, yesterday I was served for a lawsuit for one of the stories that we wrote. A story we wrote about a fingerprinting company that contracted with a notorious, or we thought contracted with a notorious scumbaggery of a company. Turns out they didn't even contract with the company that we said they have ties to it. They're at the same address. Oh, isn't it weird? You guys, maybe you thought, because I know they watch this too. I know you watch this. And don't worry. Yes, I did retain an attorney today. Oh, and he's a fire starter. And he's as amped up to come after you as I am. But we're not going to stop with you. We're going to go after everybody that's wronged me. Everyone that's censored us. Anybody that decides that they want to take down a post for misinformation. Anyone that wants to say, we're not producing that shirt because it's got Donald Trump on it. Anybody we're going after. I'm done. Enough of us sitting back and being like, oh, God, maybe if we just don't say what we mean, they won't come after us. Well, guess what? When we're truthful, they still do it. And I know why. I know that I'm not going to make money off of this. I'm going to spend money off of this because they don't have any money to take and they hide all their money. But isn't it weird that just yesterday they served me? And one of the things that says they have no commonality with Nexus. For anyone that doesn't know, okay, I'm going to go over this again. It's going to kind of be a little repeat, but I have some news for you. And sorry I didn't do a midday news update today because I was, dealing with lawyers all day. And by the way, the show is sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems. Go over to SpartanArmorSystems.com and use code YEET and get 10% off your order. Amazing company. They always have my back. No one's going to cancel that relationship, so go support them. So yesterday I was sued. Myself and a woman named Paige Hearn. Now you may remember about Paige Hearn. She's a gym owner from Stanton, Virginia. Staunton, however you say it. She's a gym owner. Her and her husband Warren. He's an Army Ranger, a vet, several tours overseas. He's a vet, Special Forces vet. They own a good powerlifting gym. That kind of, obviously, if anyone that hasn't watched my show, let me give a recap of who I am and why I'm so pissed off today. I'm a competitive powerlifter. I have been. I competed in 2019 in Ireland in the Worlds, finished second in my weight class, 8th in the world for drug-tested powerlifting, drug-tested deadlifts, 8th in the world for submasters because I'm incredible. Anyway, so when I found out that BLM was protesting and becoming violent to get at a gym in Virginia right after we moved here, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down there. And I brought my cameras and I live streamed it out. right? And then I learned the story. So there's a group of protesters that were associated with this company called Nexus Services. And you may be curious. And you know what? This is going to be a show all about this. I'm scrapping my whole plan. Everyone wants a recap of what happened and why I'm getting sued. So let's go back. Let's go back all the way. All the way. I'll go to the very first article I wrote. And many of you guys have seen these videos that I published. You've seen all of our coverage. Our first story we wrote goes all the way back to June 24th. The stage has been set and the actors have been cast. The location, Staunton, Virginia. But what we do not know is why. In the Shenandoah Valley, the town of Staunton is home to approximately 2,400 souls. Not a booming metropolis by any means, but a quiet small town where everyone knows each other. Also making its home there is a company called Nexus Services. More importantly, a group of activists who claim to be protesting in the name of Black Lives Matter, but in reality, they're filming a television series on a small network that is owned by none other than the same man who owns Nexus Services, one Michael Donovan. This is important, so remember his name. Who are these people and what are they standing on a street corner chanting, cussing, and assaulting residents who are just trying to go about their daily lives? Well, the story is a long and twisted one with so many twists and turns it might make for a good television one day, but for the people who are being directly affected, they live in a nightmare now. Let's start with these protests, because I'm sure you're curious about them. In the middle of May, a group of protesters showed up to demand that the Augusta County Sheriff's Office acquire and implement the use of body cameras. This is a noble cause, and on that, both sides actually agreed that it needed to happen. The protest followed several officer-involved shootings from the Augusta County Sheriff's Office, which resulted in the death of one Jeffrey Bruce. Members of the community gathered at the Augusta County Courthouse on May 26, saying, "It's happening here in my own backyard in different ways. It's still happening. Nobody is speaking up. No one's standing up for anybody. It's just being swept under the rug. There is no one here organizing none of this," said Antoine Suter, cast member. Suter's from Waynesboro at the time, and he was a senior cast member on the social justice docuseries called The System. The System is a series created by Unleashed TV and features Bonnie Chapman, the daughter of Dog, the bounty hunter Chapman, and the late Beth Chapman. Cameron, Blake, Dylan, Cortez, Nathan, Sam, Mackenzie, Anthony, Michael, Ishmael, and a bunch of other idiots are all part of this cast. Mike the Boss Donovan and Tim Ma Shipe or whatever are also listed as cast members. The website for The System states that The System, soon to be released, is sure to wow audiences, featuring a stellar cast and the collaborative efforts of a terrific crew. The System brings to life an absorbing story and a variety of compelling characters. So is the group creating drama for the cameras, or are they really there to protect Black lives? Several of their so-called protests have become increasingly confrontational as they decided to protest a local business after learning that the couple owns one of the businesses was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. The couple went to the rally but did not participate in the riot at the Capitol. It's worth mentioning that. The group harassed the owners and protested outside their business. They've been called racist, terrorists, and every other name you could possibly think of. A group of local business owners and concerned citizens decided to start counter-protesting. The group gathered to do a traditional flag wave to show support for the police in the county. Oftentimes, the two groups have engaged in contentious dialogue, and even some physical confrontations have taken place. PT News Network, because this is before Citizen Stringer, this is June of this year, myself traveled to the location several times and observed these protests, which to the naked eye and the camera lens, or through the naked eye and the camera lens, to find out what was actually going on. As part of the recruitment process for bodies to show up to a protest, the group is offering compensation. Free phones and a year's worth of service, travel costs, and accommodations are being offered as an incentive to join them in these fake protests. And we have screenshots of all this because we believe in having receipts on everything. The free cell phone is an interesting, considering that Libre by Nexus hands out cell phones to their clients who has access to all the data on the phones. That's very curious, right? In return, youth are reporting for duty and protesting where Donovan commands, along with the cast of The System and Bonnie Chapman. On Wednesday, we captured those activists protesting along with professional camera crews and sound devices. All the protesters were wired for sound in a similar fashion as other reality stars. Business owners stated that the protests at their business have been disrupted and disrespectful. First responders and even dispatch have been harassed and hounded by this group. Bonnie Chapman herself put out a call for bodies to join their protest and stated that they would be compensated for protesting. She wrote that all expenses would be paid for, including travel and accommodations. Once we covered this original story, we had to add that she later amended the post to state that we were gathering money, including traveling stay. We captured both screenshots because that's the way we do. We record everything. Paying people to protest, bribing the masses, and then covering up your actions does not make one look righteous. It makes you look like you're casting a reality TV show that's scripted. And it goes on and on. The man behind the scenes is a puppet master of this group, Donovan, Mike Donovan. Sucks that he uses that name, because wasn't there a show with the Donovans that was really good? And now it's like forever tarnished in my mind. What show was that? Was it Donovan? I think that's what it was called. That was a good show. Mike Donovan ruined that for me with your name. He has as many cookie jars and has been caught red-handed on multiple occasions. Could he be using this group to further a personal vendetta against the Augusta County Sheriff, who he sued in 2017 and several times then, including an ongoing lawsuit at this very moment? He also has ties to smear ads run during the sheriff's election campaign. Could this simply be personal? Could the protests in Augusta have simply been personal? The truth is, Donovan has a long criminal history as well as a civil history that includes lawsuit after lawsuit. Anyone with access to a Pacer account can quickly go and just look at the dozens and dozens of lawsuits that are alleging that this man is doing all sorts of crazy stuff. There are currently 9 states at the time of this writing investigating or actively suing Nexus Services and Michael Donovan for a number of things. Why are they investigating and suing? As it turns out, Donovan has been taking advantage of our border crisis, but he is fighting for black and brown people. It's very confusing. I don't understand how you could be taking advantage of our border crisis and yet fighting for the black lives and brown lives and LGBTQ plus whatever they call them lives. Now, we'll go to that next story because it's very important. So that one was June 24th. We wrote the next one June 26th. Mike Donovan, also known as Michael Donovan and Michael Donovan, because he spells his name in all different ways and maybe in the hopes to not get in trouble. It's quite a story that shows it's possible to go from a jail cell to the top of the food chain with millions in the bank, allegedly, taking advantage of illegal immigrants who come to the United States to find a better future along the way. So let me explain how this works, okay? So Nexus Services created a way, and again, it's legal. They're not in jail, so it's legal, even though they know that this is some shady-ass shit. It's legal, apparently. What they do, or what they did, because they've had to correct their legal scam several different ways. What they did is, when someone crosses the border illegally, they bail them out of jail. The family member calls them, they go and bail them out, and they can't be the middleman. They can't actually be the ones to bail them out because they're convicted felons, so they act as a middleman. And what they do is when the person gets out of jail, they slap an ankle monitor on that person. And the person believes that they have an ankle monitor on them until they pay off the cost of the bail. Well, that's not how it works, or at least it wasn't. What they were doing is actually paying $420 or whatever the exact amount was for this ankle monitor to lease it from them. People that have covered this, major news outlets have covered this story as well. Tons of them, actually. I think the New Yorker did a whole video on it. The New York Times did a whole video on it as well. Washington Post has written about it. CBS News did a feature on it. Everybody's done it, but again, it's legal. People have compared this to coyotes. Coyotes. You escape one coyote to just be trapped by another one was one of the quotes. They're getting sued by virtually everyone. They have been for a long time. Now you may be saying, well, Steve, that's Nexus Services. That has nothing to do with this lawsuit. Well, I'm getting there because it's very confusing. But I have to do it this way. It's very confusing. On July 21st, the BLM protester grifters were all again at the Augusta County Sheriff's. They then joined forces with BLM 757 at that point. And during a hot mic episode on their own live feed, they said, maybe it's time to bring the big guns. We wrote that article on July 21st. Did you know that your tax dollars help them They directly went to paying. Citizen Stringer has learned that the very same company that allegedly paid nearly $30,000. Oh, I skipped that one. Let me go to that one because that's pretty good too. If you're not already like, this is some effed up stuff. Let me keep going. New court documents released last week show the company behind recent BLM protests in rural Virginia also paid nearly $30,000 to a company to conduct 193 hours of surveillance on the Augusta County Sheriff's Office and its employees. Nexus Services, Inc., a Virginia-based company recently featured in several Citizen Stringer articles detailing their connections to a series of BLM protests in rural Virginia, whose participants were actors in a reality show, is now alleged to have paid $29,994.10 to be exact, for approximately, quote, 196 hours of surveillance of the Augusta County VA sheriff, according to court documents filed by a bonding company who's suing Nexus to collect over $3.3 million owed to the company. RLI Insurance is one of the many lawsuits Nexus has or is currently facing or has faced in the past several years. In this case, RLI alleges Nexus broke repayment arrangements. I suppose the best way to cover this story is to give a bit of background. Nexus Service partners with bail bondsmen and insurance companies to issue high-risk asylum bonds for immigrants who are in detention. Because Nexus is not licensed to issue bonds and likely cannot become licensed to issue the bonds, Nexus is required to work with outside companies to issue these bonds. RLI was one of these companies. According to the lawsuit, RLI says that they have issued more than 2,400 immigration bonds on Nexus's behalf since 2016. According to the lawsuit, RLI argues that some of Nexus's customers breached their bonding terms by missing immigration court dates, and Nexus then breached their agreement with RLI by failing to pay for the breached bonds. Because of this failure, RLI was forced to pay the bonding amounts or risk losing their certification with the federal government to write these bonds. To make a long story short, in August of 2020, RLI won the case and a judge ordered Nexus to pay the company. Well, in a habit, Nexus decided, well, we're not going to pay. They continued on their path of, odd behavior. Soon after the 2020 order, the company staged a protest outside of RLI's headquarters in Illinois. Together with the civil rights group America's Resisting Minority of Ethnic Discrimination, which includes founding members Evan Adjin and Michael Donovan, both executives at Nexus, they protested outside of RLI's headquarters, accusing RLI of releasing sensitive data on all of Nexus's clients. The only issue with this fake protest is that none of the user data was ever found to have been released. Amazing, right? So now you're caught up. For anyone that doesn't know, we've covered some paid BLM protests in Northern Virginia last month. We say paid because the majority of the people protesting are part of that reality show. It's kind of interesting because on videotape, we caught one of the security guards that was there protecting the employees of Nexus at this BLM protest, who told us on camera with audio that all the protesters were employees of, Nexus Services. In fact, the show's cast website shows Nexus CEO Mike Donovan, a convicted felon, as playing the character The Boss on the show. In the past several months, Nexus employees, unpaid protesters who are in fact being paid by a reality show about protests, are protesting because they care. They've been protesting outside the Augusta County Sheriff's Office, citing police brutality and a lack of body-worn cameras as their demands. Turns out it may be a bit more personal, as The Boss, Mike Donovan, has gone after Augusta County Sheriff Don Smith for some time, filing lawsuit after lawsuit, including, like I said earlier, lawsuits that are currently taking place right now. Even engaging in a political, I already said that. When Citizen Stringer was contacted by Staunton residents to cover these fake BLM protests, the residents told third-party accounts of deputies being followed home by these fake BLM activists. While we were not able to verify that at the time, it seems it may be truthful because, they hired private investigators to follow the police officers home. Now, we reached out to the only company registered under the company name, who is ironically a private investigations company, but they said they had no idea who Nexus was. The company name was Absolute Inc. out of Norfolk, Virginia. And again, they were a licensed private investigator. Still are, I believe. Retired Norfolk police officer, I believe. And by all means, very nice guy. Don't know. He said he had no idea who Nexus Services was. And then abruptly hung up on me when I said I was a journalist. We also reached out to Sheriff's Office directly, but they're not going to reply. We learned after speaking to a licensed Virginia private investigator, we learned that it would be highly unethical for a licensed professional investigator to conduct any such surveillance. Very, very curious, right? And now we'll get to this story, because this is where we are today. This is why I've now been sued. And I'll read this to you because it's quite curious. And I know a lot of you guys had some questions and you didn't understand how it was actually taking place and all that. So, well, I'll tell you. And I'm going to read this article slowly. And I'm going to read it verbatim. Imagine you were applying for a job to be a police officer. As part of the application process in every state, you will need to undergo a background check, including fingerprints. Now imagine you were told to get those fingerprints taken at a company's headquarters that was funding anti-police protests. Yeah, this is real. A tipster contacted Citizen Stringer when I wrote this earlier this week. This was in August, so they contacted me that first week of August. Well, after applying for a private job which required them to be fingerprinted for a state license. When this person called the number provided, they were given the address of a local office that would also handle the fingerprinting. To their surprise, that office building was that of Nexus Services. For anyone unfamiliar who Nexus, I already talked about that, so I'm not even going to do that. So back to the main story. Turns out a company called Fieldprint had has the contract for the state of Virginia, in addition to several other federal contracts, to fingerprint new applicants. Essentially, if you want to work a state job, say as a teacher, police officer, social worker, or even another job that requires a license like an EMT, firefighter, nurse, or babysitter, you're required to use the contracted locations provided to you. If you live in the Verona, Virginia area, that Fieldprint contractor appears to be Nexus Services. The screenshot, and we posted this online, and I don't have it set up, but it's now you can't find this anymore. That's why we screenshot everything, and we always have receipts. When you look up the actual address or when you put in the Verona zip code, the Nexus address pops up. What's interesting is Fieldprint is also authorized by the FBI as a field channeler, which, according to their website, allows them to send fingerprints and receive results directly from the FBI. What is unclear if Fieldprint used this background checking technology to check the backgrounds of the companies it contracts with. If they had, they might be surprised to learn that many of the executives at Nexus are convicted felons. I know it all seems too surreal. How on earth could a company that leads protests outside of a police station have a contract to collect fingerprints of those looking to become police officers, let alone the fact that Nexus itself paid a private investigator $30,000 to conduct surveillance on a police department? We reached out to both Fieldprint and the Virginia State Attorney General for comment. Even to this day, contrary to what they say in this complaint, which we have proof of, neither ever replied to our request. Fieldprint, I can even check right now, and it appears that they didn't even read my message because we have that tracking capability. So that brings you to it. So this article was written in August 6th. Ironically, it's a very important day in my life. The thing that's kind of curious about this is, for some reason, it took them several months to decide to sue me over this article. Now, what's surprising to me is someone named Eric Schneider and Executive Investigation Consultants are the ones who are suing me. That's very weird because I didn't know who they were. Actually, I knew who Eric Schneider was. But we deliberately, out of all of our coverage with Nexus Services, did not mention Eric Schneider. I wonder why we didn't do that. Because he seemed to be the only above-board character that worked at Nexus Services that we could find. So rather than drag his name through the mud of everybody else, we took the owners of the company, of which he was a director listed on the Virginia Secretary of State's website. Again, and you guys can go, I know you're watching right now, and I know you can frantically be like, oh shit, Steve knows the address is the same, so we're going to log into the Secretary of State and change our address. But just in case you didn't know, when you change your address with the Secretary of the State, it logs that you did it. It's pretty weird that in a complaint that's dated on the 6th, or the 3rd is when you filed it, but it was served to us on the 6th. It's very weird that on the 6th, your address was changed from the Nexus compound to another address. Very odd behavior, douche canoes. So they sue me and say, This is the best part. This is the best part. Defendants Oatley and Hearn. Now, you may remember Hearn. Remember those wonderful gym owners who contacted me and had me cover this? Yeah, well, that's Paige Hearn. She's one of them. An incredible person. She has been now named in this frivolous-ass lawsuit. And unfortunately, she doesn't have views of 2,000, 3,000 people watching them live talk about random stuff every night. They're a little gym owner. They're going to be crowdfunding their defense on this too. Hopefully we'll be able to deal with it with the shit of yeet torpedoes that are firing at full cylinders. I hope, Mrs. Amina Matheny Willard, I hope you're prepared because you screwed up. You probably didn't read the complaint before you put your little stamp on it. I'm not sure who actually typed this, but I'm fairly certain it wasn't you who I talked to back in October, right? You may have forgot that we did that when we were going to write a story about your affiliation with... That's the funniest thing. This attorney is representing this guy, Eric Schneider. Here's the thing that's beautiful, okay? This is what doesn't make any sense. This attorney... Amina Willard, she's a failed political candidate. She ran for prosecutor, only got 17% of the vote in her own district. Pretty bad, allegedly. I'll just say that because I didn't fact check those numbers. They were told to me today. In October, there was a press release issued, which we already have the press release. I think they tried to scrub it, but we were still able to get it and screenshot it. There was a press release issued by BLM Shenandoah Valley or something like that, announcing that, there's going to be a new reality show from Unleashed TV. Again, same company that is owned by the CEO of Nexus Services, Michael Donovan. This new one is, they're going to follow around BLM 757, who we've covered in the previous, in these cases, and we've also covered their live streaming during our protest coverage, and an attorney, a civil rights attorney, who's going to go and they're going to film almost like Cop Block, but they're going to film and free black people from the grips of the justice system. And you know what? It probably would have been a good show if Michael Donovan wasn't anywhere near it. But anyway, you know who that attorney was that was issued a press release saying that they were joining essentially the payroll of Unleashed TV, which is owned by Nexus Services? Amina Willard. Now, it's really weird because a company that has no affiliation, according to this court document, happens to have the same attorney as their television show. Very odd behavior from these guys because they don't have any commonality. Now, the funny thing that apparently Eric Schneider forgot is that when your ownership in a company is removed on the Secretary of State's website, guess what isn't removed? The fact that you used to own that company or used to be a director of that company. Oh, you know what also isn't removed? Your LinkedIn profiles that you don't even think about changing. So we screen grab those son of a bitches too, because in this complaint, guess what you do? You say you have no connection to Nexus Services. It's not like you share an office building and when people have to check in, they're greeted by a guy in body armor with a pistol and an AR-15 at your facility. Very odd, huh? But guess what? Turns out that they do have connections. And so tomorrow morning, probably right around 9 or 10, we have a surprise for you. And I hope you understand that when you filed your little frivolous lawsuit, I warned you that I'm not the one. I said it in the beginning. I said it during all my shows. And I said, please, if you do sue me, come at me personally. You took the bait. We are firing back, and we will highlight and we will document every single thing. And we will use you as an example. Why? We are just done. I am done sitting back and allowing myself to fall victim to censorship. I am done, because make no mistake, mind you, this lawsuit here is censorship. This is because I covered a story truthfully, and they are mad. And so what can they do? Now, did they go after CBS News or New Yorker or Washington Post or Tucker Carlson or anybody else who's covered their story? Nope. They went after the little guy, thinking that the little guy didn't have a network of amazing people that would either, one, crowdsource the funds that we need to actually defend against this, or two, become private investigators and dig up so much fucking dirt that you can never imagine about everybody. So tomorrow morning, you're going to get a surprise when we file something, and I'm just gonna leave it there for you. And I hope you understand that even when that's done, and even when this case is inevitably dropped, I am not done. I will not stop. When the lawyer today, he's like, so what do you want? You just want this to be gone? Because that's pretty easy. And I said, no. I want to hold them. I want to hold their feet to the fire, and I want to do it until the skin melts off and the bones are there, and then I want to take those bones and bury them, dig them up again, bury them, dig them up again, and bury them for the rest of your life. That's what I want to do. I'm going to be the fucking Energizer bunny that you just don't want behind you anymore, and I promise you that. And I'm not going to stop. And anybody who crosses, if I got another shirt vendor that's like, I'm not printing a Trump shirt, then that's fine. I'll pull out my business from them. That's what we're doing. I'm going to order $12,000 worth of stock, and we're going to keep it right here. And I'll print every shirt off myself, and we won't rely on anybody else. I'm not going to have another vendor say, I'm not going to print a Let's Go Brandon shirt, or I'm not going to print a Trump shirt, or I'm not going to print a Fuck Your Mandate shirt, or any of those, because that's all happened. Not doing it anymore. I'll do it all myself. And we're going to, with you guys. And I'm not giving up on this anymore. I'm done. I'm done playing the games. I'm done sitting back and saying, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just not write that because it may be controversial. Oh, no, I'm done doing that. If I have something to say, and here's the thing, we're so beholden to social media. We're so beholden. What you guys did last night proved to me I don't need social media. Yeah, you watch on social media, but I don't need it. What you guys did of raising the money, granted, I hired an attorney. We didn't quite do what I needed to do, but I'm not messing around. I told you guys, a fire was fucking lit me yesterday. You know, we still need your money. We still need your contributions and all that, and I hope you do go visit citizenstringer.com and fight. citizenstringer.com/fight. That's where you can contribute. Don't do it through YouTube Super Chats or any of that shit. They take a third of it, and they're the ones who censor us. If you want to support us, go right to that website and make a contribution there. And while you're at it, go read this bullshit complaint where they say, defendants Oley and Hearn are anti-Black Lives Matter activists. Not true at all. In fact, I've lost viewers because I firmly believe Black lives do matter. Very odd from an anti-Black Lives Matter activist. All this defamation bullshit, which is all crazy. But this one, they're not attacking just me or Paige for sharing that tweet or that article, because that's why she's named in here, because they say she plotted with me. But Paige and I, that's the beauty of stuff. I don't talk to her that much. I don't talk to anybody. How many of you guys have sent me emails and you never get a reply? Same thing happens when people text message me or call me. I don't answer the fucking phone. I'm too damn busy. She and I have had very little correspondence up until this, and now we're talking. We're sharing intel. You fucked up by naming an innocent business owner that you protested against, and now you're going after them? You fucked up on that one. Plus, you can't even get your dates right in complaints, you fucking idiots. Anyway. But it goes on, and it's not just Paige or me that they're going after, or just the freedom of speech. They're coming after all of you, because here's a comment about all of you. And I want you to understand, this is not an attack just on me or on Paige or on, isolated viewers. This is an attack on everybody that has a difference of opinion. Defendant Oatley is a self-described social media influencer. For one, I've never self-described myself as that, but thank you. I will take that title, fuckers. He creates content that encourage hate-filled comments and potential acts of violence from his, get this, anti-BLM followers. So not only are they attacking me, not only are they attacking the freedom of the press, they're attacking you guys. Isn't that amazing? My followers that they're calling anti-BLM. I don't believe a single viewer of mine is anti-BLM. Sure, do we think the BLM organization is a terrorist organization? 100%. But likely, I've probably gotten rid of the people that are out here being like, oh, BLM, blah, blah, blah. No, because we don't believe that. I believe if a group of people, regardless of race or anything, if someone feels marginalized because of who they are or their skin color, sexual orientation, or whatever, no matter how weird it is to us, in some cases, we are not doing our job if they feel marginalized in this country. We are just simply not doing it, whether it's mental health, whether it's our social, economical status, whatever, we're not doing our job. I've said that for months and months and months, even with the protests. said it for months and months. But you know what? It doesn't matter because according to these people who stupidly publicly wrote that I'm an anti-Black Lives Matter activist. What do you think the purpose of that was? Which is, it's patently not false. In fact, I've never even said anything that could be contrived as that ever, even in my live videos. What do you think the end game is for that? Do you know what I mean? What do you think the end game is? Do you think the purpose of this? I'm surprised they didn't put out a press release saying they sued the media. Probably wouldn't really work really well, right? Oh, by the way, why didn't you name the company in the suit and you only named me? Huh? It's kind of weird, right? You didn't name the company. And then here's another thing that we believe was deliberate, and it's going to come out very soon too. Why didn't they mention the fact that we run a news site called Citizen Stringer? Instead, they referred to something called Citizen Stringer Muck Rack. I look up Muck Rack, and it's like a excerpt that doesn't even show full articles. They know damn well that we have a news site because it's been viewed at tens of thousands of times by people that are just focusing on their stories. It gets 500,000 page views a month. Here's the thing. We're never going to give up. I'm never going to go away. I'm only just getting started. And I tell you what, that when this case is done, I will be the one that's sitting there going, I fucking told you. I warned you. You started it. And that's the truth. Because they started it. And you know what? I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to keep fighting on it. And I'm going to do that. I paid out a ton of money today. I'm putting out press releases. And every single fucking time that something happens in court, I will do it again. I will spend a shit ton of money and I'll put out a press release. And when I say press release, and why I'm spending so much money, because the press release is going to be distributed to every fucking media outlet in the country. Everyone. And you guys know about that over there at Unleashed TV because you use the same service that I did. Isn't that funny? Someone said you may be showing too many of your cards. No, you know what? I want them to see what's coming because there's nothing they can do. There's no cards. This isn't a contest to see who's better. You know why? Because I have facts on my side. You can't dispute facts. You can't lie about facts because, well, they are simply facts. Every single thing that I've mentioned today, and here's the thing that people forget about the way we do things here at Citizen Stringer and why we are who we are and why people turn us on every day in terms of our programs and read our news articles, is because we are extremely diligent in our reporting. Everything we do is documented. Every image, every keystroke, everything we do is documented. Every article, every quote, we have articles right now. We have probably 4 or 5 articles that are huge breaking news stories. We can't write about them yet because we haven't confirmed them. And that's the way it is. So every single thing that I've said right now, guess what I have? Guess every single thing I have right now and said today, I have screenshots to back up everything. All the Secretary of State stuff, guess what? It's public. It doesn't go anywhere. You could try to delete it, but normal people know where to look. We know all this stuff, you know, and it's sad. It's sad that I even have to do this. You know, it truly is. It's sad that we even have to go through any of this stuff. And I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to keep destroying people that want to come. I've played so nice, man. I played too nice for a long time. I'm done doing that. You know, I don't do this job because it's fun. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't make this show because I thoroughly enjoy doing it. Granted, I like it a little bit, but I don't do it because this is a job I've wanted to do. This shit is stressful as hell. I do this because I have to. As it's my duty as an American, it's my duty as a citizen to do this. It's my duty. It's my responsibility as an American to do this. To report the news, to report it accurately, so you guys, the people that are sitting there watching it, are getting a full accounting of what's going on. And that's it. And I'm not giving up. And what I would ask all of you guys to do is support me in this. If you've been censored, if you've been blocked, if you've been torn down and ripped up the way you talk about things, I want you to visit citizenstringer.com/fight and support this. This isn't going towards the company. This is going towards a lawsuit. And the whole thing is going to go to fight against this type of censorship. You know, they poked the bear, or whatever the expression is. Well, you know what? I'm awake. I've been saying for a long time, I'm not there. Well, guess what? I'm there now. And I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be that bear that you don't want waking up. And I'm awake, and I'm not going to stop. You know, and I'm going to keep coming. You know, and that's the thing. You know, and I need you guys to. I need you to visit citizenstringer.com/fight and help me fight. Because again, this isn't an attack on just me. It's an attack on all of us. Anyway, with that fucking said, and you know what? Big things happen. Okay, we raised a huge amount of money yesterday. It was enough for me to, you know, be able to confidently get an attorney, and hopefully I didn't use all of our money, personal money, to deal with it. But I have a responsibility to do it. I have to defend this. My wife is on board. She understands. She understands. My wife wants me to sue them. She wants me to fight this. And you know that that's strange. But she knows how passionate I am. She knows that I would never write anything that's untrue. And I didn't. And so you're not going to sit here and say it. And I know the goal is just to have me waste money. The goal is just to make me go, oh, I'm sorry, I won't write. Fuck that. You know what? I'm going to write and document every minute of this. If I can get cameras into the courtroom, I'm going to do so. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to every single filing. You guys will be able to follow along on that same page. Every new piece of evidence you'll be able to find on that same page. citizenstringer.com/fight. And I'm just going to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm not going to stop until they sit there and call me and say, how can we get this to stop? And that's my promise to all of you. Anyway, speaking of promises, you know what isn't amazing? There's no way to segue that. Oh, yeah. You know how you can not act all crazy like Steve? Take some CBD. Steve's out of CBD, which is why he's all high strung, and it probably wouldn't work anyway. I got to order more. But if you don't use CBD, well, you should, okay? JustCBDstore.com. And if you use code CITIZEN20, you get 20% off your order. That's huge, okay? 20% off your order on some CBD. And most of the people in the chat have taken it before. They'll tell you how amazing this shit is. It's really good. My advice, though, if you're drug tested, if you're a truck driver, a cop, or anybody that's regularly drug tested, I'm not putting my words behind. I'm not. Don't take it. Is what I'm saying. Don't risk it. They do have something on there that you can scan, QR code, that'll tell you whether it's good or not, or they'll tell you the formulation. Great company though. They're not going to cancel us either. And I need you guys to support these companies: Spartan Armor Systems, Just CBD, and guess what? It never stops. You know why? Because even yesterday, even all this shit that happened yesterday, guess what? We got a new sponsorship today. Oh, and it's one you guys are going to use. But I can't talk about it yet because I got to make sure everything's set up on their end. But tomorrow, we're going to have a new sponsor. And this is going to be a hell of a deal. And it's something that everyone should do. Something everyone should sign up for, especially the way our country is going right now. And all these data breaches and all this stuff that's going on. We have a new sponsor. And you guys are going to love it. All right, let's talk about a crazy story real quick. This one's fucking nuts. And we haven't written a story on it, but we're going to in a second. A mother in Los Angeles has said her son has been vaccinated at her school without her consent. And he was offered pizza. Maribel Duarte told, wow, I got it right. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's how it should pronounce based on how it's spelled. Maribel Duarte told NBC4 News that her 13-year-old came home with a vaccine card after saying yes to be vaccinated in exchange for pizza at the, go figure, Barack Obama Global Prep Academy school in southern Los Angeles. Duarte said she should have been asked to give her written consent for her child to be vaccinated. The Los Angeles Unified School District website has sent a message to parents that they need to get their children over the age of 12 vaccinated before January 10th. According to the mandate, students who are not vaccinated and do not have a valid exemption by that date will have to follow classes through virtual online learning. Statement read, attention all families of students aged 12 or older. This is your reminder to get your child vaccinated. Your first dose must be uploaded into Daily Pass no later than December 19th. Both doses must be uploaded before January 10th, 2022. Duarte said, I should have been involved. The lady that gave him the shot and signed the paper was the one who told my son, please do not say anything. I don't want to get into trouble. According to this mom. That's apparently what the lady who gave him the shot said to the 13-year-old. She said, regarding my son's health, I'm against it, she said, because she's had some underlying health issues. She clarifies she was not against vaccines or because he had underlying issues. She's not against vaccines as she's had the jab herself, but feel differently towards her son getting it. He has problems with asthma and allergy problems. At least 2 parents have launched a lawsuit against the Los Angeles Unified School District for its vaccine mandate. It's absolutely, this is crazy. Newsweek also contacted the school for comment. We're going to contact the school for comment. Be very careful. Have a conversation with your kids. We have to have conversations with our kids almost every day now. You know, when someone talks about, you know, they, them pronouns, you can't laugh. It's not polite, son. If the teacher tries to stick a needle in your arm and offers you pizza, you fucking run. Yell, stranger danger, that's what my kids are going to do. Or I tell them to take that needle and stick it right in the teacher and run away. I can tell you, my son could defend the shit out of himself, and I will give him the biggest hug, and then I'll go in and finish the defending, if you know what I mean. If anybody tries to jab my kids, absolutely not. You better talk to your kids. You better talk to your kids and say, hey, listen, if you're for it, then you're for it. If you're against it, you better make sure that they know that. Your children know that. You have to, because schools are doing this. Schools are putting it out on their own. And you have to, because if we don't, who are we? It's time. It's time right there. Fight back. That's what we have to do. Enough of this sitting around, you know. If you ask me, we should, and I said this for a long time, it's too damn cold, though. It's too damn cold. But we should be out protesting. We should be out marching around the streets and doing all that stuff now. We should be fighting against the censorship stuff. You know what I mean? Think about it. We should. We sit around and just fucking complained on social media. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. Well, you know what? It's not too late. And it's not too late for me either. And I'm defending myself against frivolous lawsuits, against censorship, against anything. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm doing something noble, because I'm not. I feel bad that I didn't do it sooner. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people that probably would have really learned a lot and made educated decisions if I reported things differently, if I reported things or said things the way I really feel for a long time, instead of sugarcoating it down so I don't get kicked off social media. And for that, I feel guilty. You know? But I don't feel guilty for writing the truth, ever. And I never will. And I'll never bow down for it, ever. You know? If you guys want to support me, please support me. You know, and support other people. This cancel culture shit, this is like a lame attempt at cancel culture, but this is going to cost me thousands, and it already has, tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to fight, and then when the fight is over, I'm still going to be fighting. Because I'm going to make an example. Just as other people always say, oh, they're making an example of something, I'm going to make an example out of everyone that's involved in this. Every single statement that they make in a video, we record it now. Every single one. You think that we don't know your social media? I've got 50 people that are all lined up watching every video, everything that posts out. It's the first time you step out. You think that this lawsuit is going to be the only lawsuit filed? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And as for you, Eric, who I've never mentioned in any of my reporting or executive investigation consultants, you shouldn't have been a stooge. Because you guys and Amy Willard, you're going to get a nice fat fucking surprise that's going to ruin your day tomorrow morning. Or whatever we get it filed with the court. But that's it, man. That's it. I'm not, nor will I ever give up. So I hope they know. And I hope all you guys know that. And for everybody that's, sat back and been like, Steve, everyone that's sitting there, because I know there's a lot of them that are sitting back there going right now, I told you so. Told you, Steve. Told you. Yeah, you're fucking right. You did. You did, and I slept. And I'm sorry. But I'm awake. And if you guys want to fight back, there's 3 ways you could do it. 1, go to citizenstringer.com. Everyone should go anyway. It doesn't matter whether you're going to contribute financially or not. I don't care about that. Everyone should go and read this bullshit complaint. Here's the best part. Read the article that's shown in that if you go to the website, you'll see where the link to the article is. Read the article first, then read the complaint, which is there in its entirety. Because then it's complete bullshit. And if you can support us financially so we can go fight, because again, this isn't just about me. This is about you. They directly attacked our viewers in this lawsuit. Contribute to it. And if you can't, share that page. Share it out and tell people about it. Send it to the media. I've said I'll go on shows. I won't curse. I will even put on a mother tie. Okay? To go on national television and talk about this. I am done. I'm not doing. I won't shave because I'm trying to grow my beard back. I fucking miss it. But I shaved down there. Looks nice, right? Yeah. Anyway, but I'll put on a tie. I got to go buy new shirts because I'm too damn big. They don't fit at me anymore. I'm big. But I did buy a new. I don't know where it is. I bought a new one for my Capacity Today show. So you'll see me in a collared shirt. But and then the third way is. Tell your friends. Tell the people that don't use social media. Talk about it. Make them aware. That's what I need people to do. More than anything else is I need people to talk about it. I mean, money's good too. But I'm going to, I already paid for it anyway. Because I'm not going to sit back, man. I'm not going to sit back. But I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fight this and I'm gonna fight everything and I'll be that talking point. You're tired of your social media presence being impacted? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Tweet it out to everybody. I know a bunch of you guys did yesterday. Tweet it out to everybody. Share it out to people. Call Fox News and say, hey, put this guy on. He doesn't really like you much and he'll call you fake news probably, but put him on because he's got a fucking hell of a story. Don't call CNN because I'll throw up. Maybe I should do that. Feel like, yeah, I never thought I'd be on CNN because I can't. The only person at CNN that I'll do an interview with is Chris Cuomo. So that means I'll never do an interview with CNN because he's fired. But seriously, we need to do more. I should have did it sooner. I'll be honest. But here's the thing. I've got a good track record of fighting this stuff. Right? We were flagged as misinformation once on fake news. We fought that. They are on fake news, Facebook. Misinformation. We fought it. They had to remove that. We were we had a fake news, whatever. This is false fact check. We had to fight that. We fought that. They had to remove it. Right? So we've done pretty good. We're 2 out of 2. And usually they don't remove those either. We had to go directly to the source. And we threatened to do exactly what we're going to do now. We threatened to drag them through the court system for years and years and years. And I know with this guy, Eric Schneider, I'll know by tomorrow every single piece of property he owns and all that stuff because that's what you do when you're getting ready to clean someone's house, sue them. I know he's probably going to hide all his money just like the rest of them do. All the houses are all intermingled and changing hands every 2 years to evade taxes. I just sincerely hope that this case is resolved before they all go to jail because that's coming down the pipeline too. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I'd just love to see him shackled in. I'll do mandatory court appearances and petition the court to make them appear. And so he has to come in all shackled every time and be like, I fucking told you, bro. See you next week for the next fucking frivolous. You want to do frivolous stuff. I'm fighting back, man. I'm fighting back. And I'm not giving up. So I encourage you guys to visit. If you can't, I encourage everyone to visit. Even if you're not going to contribute, you should be visiting citizenstringer.com/fight. And read the complaint and bookmark that page for the updates, because we're going to have updates every day on it. I'll have the new filing that we're doing tomorrow on there and what the implications of it are. I'll have all that stuff. When we do the answer to the complaint, we'll have that. When we do that slap lawsuit, we'll do that. And it's not like I'm letting, oh my God, he's already said that. I said it yesterday. And yeah, I'm coming after you. I'm coming after, and I'm not going to stop. You fucked up. You picked up a fight. And I may not be the best boxer. I may not know that much about the legal system, but you know what? I've got that ferocity where you keep getting down, you get back up. Keep getting down, you get back up. Well, guess what? I'm up, and I'm not going back down. Anywho. But yeah, someone said I just on Citizen Stringer, they're like, I feel like yelling expletives tonight. So do I. Finally got the new headphones, got the pre-workout, all that stuff. I'm back in the gym tomorrow. And I may videotape deadlifts, because I think it depends how my back feels when I'm warming up, but I may pull 6. I'm going to use straps like a girl, but whatever. Not like a girl. Oh my God, sexism. Now, next complaint's going to be, he compared people that use weightlifting straps to women. Feminist, scumbag, sexist, shitbird. I don't like straps. I like man hands, callous. Like that's why you lift weights. But, and I also changed the thing. So now if you go to Freight Broker, that's old. If you go to citizenstringer.com/fight, you'll see down at the bottom now, I think. It should. And there should be a comment wall. I got to figure out where that is. But you should be able to. I just wrote small. Why? Instead of fight, I wrote small. But there should be we're at 4,100 or 41%, and we're actually a little bit over. We're at like 50% because this is only through this app. This doesn't include everyone who sent the Venmos yesterday, and there were a lot. Thank you again, Andrea. Like, you almost made me cry last night. But thank you for the tear gas gun. Thank you for everything. I mean, you're fucking amazing. Someday we'll meet, and I may break that hug rule. I mean, you may get a hug, dude. Girl, sorry. I mean, you've helped me. You almost teared me up yesterday. That shit will never happen again. We don't cry in this But yeah, you can see that, and then there's going to be a wall too, I think, and it's already built in. I just don't know how it works, so I may have to see. But there's something I could do on here, so you can leave comments, because people wanted to see the bar at the bottom of it, and yeah, so I did that, and then the complaints there, and I'll keep adding. So this page is just going to be a long ass page, or maybe I'll have like a frequently asked question. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll set up a frequently asked question for the updates. As new updates come in, I'll like have it so it's what do you call that? Accordion? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't make it so it's like one long ass drawn out page. All right, you guys have any questions on the chat before I wrap this up? I don't know if Adam is doing a show. I know he was thinking about doing one, but to be honest, I was busy today meeting with lawyers. So I don't see his feed going, so I'm guessing he's not doing a show, which kind of sucks, because I thought he was. But maybe we'll get that all squared away tomorrow. Pretty much everything until Christmas is going to be a little finicky, until after Christmas. But then we'll go from there. Someone said, you want a tear gas gun? I know, it's sick, right? That little bad boy right there. That's 900 buckaroonies, all right? And everyone should email Berna, too. Berna, B-Y-R-N-A, right? B-Y-R-N. Yeah, that's Berna. Everyone should contact them and said, hey, Steve with Citizen Stringer Wake Up America show emailed you. He wants to advertise your product on his show. Give us a discount link. You know what I mean? I've tried. They haven't replied. Maybe I'll call them tomorrow. CitizenStringer.com fight. CitizenStringer.com fight. CitizenStringer.com fight. Tomorrow's the Kim Potter trial. We'll have that live. That starts, I believe, at 10 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm not quite sure. That trial starts. We will have that live. We will break in if anything happens, any big hearings or anything, because the trials are like secondary to the actual news reporting we do. And this trial has kind of been not that entertaining, to be honest. It's not, I mean, she fucked up. She shot and killed someone when she thought she was pulling a taser. So we'll have that trial on from 10 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll have an all-day feed going on social media and everywhere. We'll interrupt it for any news conferences, briefings, anything like that. I am not going to be doing a midday show or anything. I got to package all this coffee. Finally got that all situated. Finished getting this up. I bought a label printer today so I could finally print these damn labels for the coffee instead of waiting for it. So all the coffee orders will go out. And then Pure Truth Coffee and Pure Truth Clothing, the website's actually probably going to go down on Thursday, and it won't be back up until Monday. I'm going to take it down for because just like I said, with the Spreadshirt vendor, them being communist scumbag, soul-sucking losers, when they won't print a Donald Trump shirt, they were a great vendor. They actually printed a pretty good material. I'm never going to work with them again. So I'm going to delete all the products on there except the coffee, and I'm just going to start fresh. And we're going to do everything here. And I probably won't even sell any clothes until I have the shirts in stock, so I can just ship them right out from here. Done fucking with all these other companies that are just sitting here being like, we can't print the Let's Go Brandon shirt because we find it offensive. Well, fuck you, because you know I find you offensive, and I find the fact that you won't print my shirt an infringement of my First Amendment right to make money and support what we do in my family and have people support what they believe. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing it all ourselves. So now when you see a shirt, it's going to be made with my sweat until I hire someone else. Every single shirt that will be on that store come Monday will be made here. The only ones that won't probably are going to still be the Patriot mystery box. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll just say fuck it and do it all. I may have to raise the prices of the Patriot boxes if I do that. If you haven't got your December box yet, you should all get that. Probably tomorrow it should start coming. You can enjoy that. Anyone who hasn't got their November box, I think there's only a handful of them. Sorry, I will get that out to you. I'll send you some free shit too, separate from that. Also, as a reminder, if you buy if you buy a shirt, well, it won't matter later, so it doesn't matter. Because if you order a shirt and coffee starting next week, the shirt will still be separate, so you're going to pay a separate price for the shirt because you're not going to want to smell the coffee on the shirt. Or maybe you will if you're weird, but whatever. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow when we cover the trial. Pizza Tilly will be live at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Until then, Vida say adieu. That's like French or something. Bye. Shit, where is it? There. Bye. Bye.
You've been listening to Wake Up America with Stephen Oatley. Unapologetically American and unapologetically
wait. Hold on. I'll be on TikTok for like 15 minutes. I'm not staying long tonight. In like 10 minutes. I'll be on TikTok for like 15 minutes. Okay. Now, seriously, we'll see you tomorrow.
Join us each night at 8 p.m. for more daily headlines, politics, and social issues, covering the headlines that mainstream media ignores. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. See more on the website at citizenstringer.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wake Up America.